Good afternoon, manufacturing all-stars, and welcome to this episode of Manufacturing Happy Hour. Today, you are going to learn how to pull data from old legacy systems into your connected enterprise. We're coming at you live from Partner Network Conference in Los Angeles, where I'm joined by Keith Blodorn from Prosoft. Cheers, Keith.
Cheers.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Not a problem, and I'm excited for this topic today. But before we dive into it, just to get some context around Prosoft, describe Prosoft to the audience just so they have an understanding of why we're going to be talking about what we are today.
Yeah, so Prosoft has been an Encompass partner really from the beginning for almost 30 years now. And what we do is we make it possible for all of the other kinds of equipment that's out in the world to talk to Rockwell. So any kind of other protocol you've got, we bring it in. We provide connectivity to all of that stuff.
Awesome. And that suits you up for being the perfect person to describe, why is it so critical today to be pulling data from older systems into newer, modern, connected enterprise?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of really big, important drivers why people want to pull that data in or have a plan to migrate their old legacy equipment.
Sure.
Number one, that stuff is getting old. There's equipment out there that you can only find spares on eBay. I mean,
right.
It's really getting tough. So protecting your investment and making sure that your plant stays running is critical. Number two is the people who are around who actually know how to work on that stuff are retiring. Right?
Right.
They're getting older.
Aging
they're
workforce.
retiring. Yep, absolutely. And so upgrading to the newer stuff is really important. And finally, kind of the new driver, if you will, is customers are finding that the data that's locked in that legacy system can be really valuable when they bring it into other systems.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yep.
So, well, on that note, where's Prosoft role in that? How do you help enable that?
Yeah, so there's certainly one approach that a customer could take, a manufacturer could take, which is go in, take that old system they've got, rip it all out, and put a brand new Rockwell system in, which is great. But a lot of times customers, don't want to take on the risk of that kind of a project or the CapEx, and they'd rather approach it kind of sequentially in steps. What we do as Prosoft, we provide the kind of tools that allow customers to integrate some old parts of that system into a new Logix controller.
Yeah.
So they can do piece by piece with much less risk, much less downtime, and eventually take care of that problem.
Well, I love the way you describe that, because as much as I love it when someone rips out an old DCS and puts in a plant PAX system, at the end of the day, most DCS migrations are a stage type thing. It's something that takes place over time. So being able to take advantage of that data over that, however many year period it is critical.
Yep.
But let's add some realism to it before we wrap up. Like maybe an example for our customers of something that you've done before. Yeah,
absolutely. So one of our shared customers, a company called American Castings in Oklahoma, they've been around 100 years, so they have tons of old equipment in there. They wanted to start upgrading their old Square D Cymax system, right?
Oh, wow.
So if you've heard of that, yeah, exactly. Well, it turns out, they didn't want to do the rip and replace. They had 1,000 points of data that they needed they would have to rewire and all of this. What they did was they put in a new Logix controller. They used Prosoft migration products to talk directly to that old Square D I/O. This basically doing it that way saved them, by their estimate, $100,000 in downtime.
Wow!
Just to do that replacement, and they were able to do a lot of the debug in parallel while the line was running. So that saved them another $40,000.
Yeah. All right.
The coolest part of it was, they realized afterwards when they started getting this data into their systems, what they told us was it was really unlocked the value of their MES system.
Sure, yeah.
So that data they could never get before, now they got it, and they were starting to really recognize that value.
That is awesome. And we're talking like, I think, what was it, 140-something thousand total dollars? Yeah. That's pretty big. Now, as we wrap up the video, what's a final call to action you'd have for folks? Something to check out after the video is done.
Absolutely. So if you've got that old equipment in your plant, give us a call. Call your local Rockwell distributor, who will also be your Prosoft distributor, and ask them about our migration solutions. It can save you a lot of time. It can save you a potential emergency if you're thinking ahead and being proactive.
Awesome, and as always, I'll make sure to include a link to Prosoft below this video. In the meantime, Keith, thanks so much for jumping on the show today.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Good to have Prosoft back on the show.
We appreciate it.
And for those of you out there, stay innovative, stay thirsty. We'll see you back here on Manufacturing Happy Hour real soon. Cheers.